Hey y'all, I'm Nikki Barrett and I'm looking to start a new series right now, and the series is called Earthen Vessels, and it's really just breaking down what God's called us to be and what the Word says, and just talking about the Word now. So I hope y'all enjoy this. I hope y'all can grow closer to God because of this, and I hope that if you don't know God, you can have a relationship with God because of this. And so I said Earthen Vessels, this is a series, but that's actually also the name of the lesson today, and it's something that's really grown near to my heart recently, and I just want to be able to share it with y'all. And so I'm being in 2 Corinthians 4, just verses 7 and 8 today, and it's really just about what God wants of us. And I really feel so called right now to just share this message. It's two simple verses. I'm going to replace two words with in my translation, with earthen vessels, because I just feel it fits so much better. Verse 7 starts, "We have this treasure from God, but we are like earthen vessels that hold the treasure. This shows that the great power is from God, not from us. We have troubles all around us, but we are not defeated. We do not know what to do, but we do not give up the hope of living." So I just really love that, just the image of an earthen vessel, and how that's something we're called to be. And for those of you who don't know what an earthen vessel is, my version says clay jars. They're essentially the same thing, but an earthen vessel was made to hold treasures, to hold valuables. It's like a modern day safe that we have today, and it's this huge clay jar, so heavy you cannot turn it over and get things out, but also so tall you cannot reach down and pull anything out. And the only way to get the treasure out of the earthen vessel is to smash it, to break it. And I just love that analogy, because as Christians, we're probably broken people. If we aren't, we're lying to ourselves. We are broken. We aren't perfect. We aren't whole. We aren't just complete. We are broken. We've gone through trials. We've gone through tribulations. Life sucks sometimes, and I want to be honest. It does. But we're called to be earthen vessels. We're called to be broken, and I know that there's not really very much hope in that. I'm supposed to be broken. What does that mean? But we're called to be broken because we're also called to hold this treasure. But this treasure is to be shared. That's why we're called to be broken. I find that so amazing, because God trusts us so much with His word that He wants others to see it in us, in the way that we live. And I find that so beautiful, that that's what God wants of us. But here's the thing, as Christians, we're told that life's not going to be easy. We're never told it's going to be a walk through the park. We're never told this. As Christians, life's going to have challenges. We're going to go through tribulations and trials, and life's going to be hard sometimes. That's just reality. But the great thing about that is that God will use all of our struggles, all of our trials and tribulations, and everything that we go through. God will use it for His glory, and I find that so amazing and so beautiful. See, this treasure that we have on earth is not meant to stay in us on earth. It's meant to be seen by all the world. We're meant to show it to everyone. God calls us, Jesus calls us to go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. We can't do that if we don't share the gospel. And that's the great thing about this treasure, is that we're called to be broken, shattered, torn apart, so that others can know God like we do. One thing I find so amazing about that is we're broken people to start with, and that's why God wants us. Because if we're not broken, we're hiding our treasure. Just like a glow stick, we need to first be snapped. But we need to hear that breaking point, just like a glow stick, so that we can be seen, so that we can glow and illuminate and fill the darkness with light. But, and verse 8 makes this so much better, because it's such a defeating message. I'm supposed to be broken. What does that mean? But verse 8 makes this so much better. I'll read it one more time. It says, we have these troubles are all around us, but we are not defeated. We do not know what to do, but we do not give up the hope of living. I don't know about y'all, but there's a lot of times in life where I just don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm supposed to say, how I'm supposed to respond, or what's even going on sometimes. But that's okay, and the Bible says it. The gospel says that we don't know what to do sometimes. But it's all right, because we have this hope that is Jesus, the Son of God, who came down, who gave his life so that we could know him, so that we could know God. And he died the most humiliating death that there ever was, the most painful, gruesome death. And honestly, it wasn't even about the pain. It was about him humbling himself, and about how he suffered for us so that we could know him. He came down, separated himself from heaven to live on this earth so that we could know him. And that's what gives us hope. That's what should keep us pushing on. And even when we don't know what to do, we know that we have this hope that is God. We know that we have this hope that is Jesus, and we can continue to push on and to reach the prize for which God has called us for. And we know that we can continue to share the treasures. We're meant to be broken. We're meant to share the treasures. And yes, this is earthen vessels, but I'm going to go through each of the fruits of the Spirit and break down how they apply to us sharing that treasure, and how they are the treasure that God has called us for. But we have hope, and that's so amazing. And just the last thing today that I have is just that earthen vessels are such an amazing thing, because they're so simple yet so unique, because everyone had one. Essentially, they were just a common household item used just to protect your stuff. But the great thing about us, they're all different. They're all made just for that family. They're all made by hand, chosen by hand. I find that so similar to what God did with us. God made us by hand. God chose us by hand. He's called us. He's equipped us. He wants us to go share the gospel. I love that. I think it's so amazing. I think it's so mind-blowing that God would pick me, that God would pick you, because he wants us. He loves us. He chooses us. And he equips us to do it. He equips us to be broken so that we can shine, so that we can let the whole world know that he is God and he is good. And we can have this hope because he sent his Son to save us. Amen.